Hey friends, Catherine the Elfstress back again for 12 days of Christmas appetizers. Today we're doing spinach and artichoke dip. This is served hot and a couple choices on serving it. We're gonna do a baguette tonight, but if you cannot have gluten, these are a fantastic option. These from Costco, for doing a gluten-free option or just something a little bit faster. So I do find anytime you're using dips though, a nice crunchy cracker works really well. But as for the baguettes, if you're going to do those, I'm just gonna tip you down here. I've simply sliced, I just bought a loaf and I sliced, and then this is just melted butter. And we're gonna show you, I basically am just, this does not need to be perfect. You're just gonna add a little bit of butter like to every piece. This is a fantastic kid job here. Okay, so we're just gonna, and you get to decide when you cut these, like how thick or thin that you would like them. Okay, so we're gonna just dust as like that. And then this is just garlic powder. So this, you're just going to kind of just dust the tops. And you don't need a ton. And a little goes a long way with this. And then these go in the oven. They'll just go to bake about 10 minutes. They don't really take that long. Unless you have cut them really thin, then they'll obviously crisp up a little faster, okay? And then next we will move on to our spinach and artichoke dip. So I'm gonna throw this in the oven real quick. And set a timer because I know it's gonna happen if I don't. Okay, so this spinach and artichoke dip, very simple in terms of ingredients. This is a 2-quart baker. This happens to be cast iron, which I love, but you do not have to use it. And then in terms of ingredients, we're using, this is frozen spinach and I've had it sitting out a while. So it's not, you know, you can buy it in the block. And if you do, the blocks tend to be a little more watery than the bags for whatever reason. So I like the bags a little better because then I just kind of thaw them a bit and dump into the baker. And then we're gonna do some cream cheese. We're gonna do veggie stock, or this is a great way if you happen to have any like leftover stock in your fridge from other cooking, just use that. Okay, so this whole block of cream cheese is going in. Okay, and the one thing I love about this dip is that you can make it ahead of time and just wait to bake it, or you know, you can obviously bake it as you go. You could make this in a much larger quantity and put it in, you know, a crock pot, rock crock, that kind of thing. And then we're gonna add some salt. So very simple. And then this Greek seasoning is really what makes this. And I like to use a good amount and get it everywhere. Okay. All right, so we've got, those things are done. We're also gonna add, this is a white cheddar that I shredded. If you don't have white cheddar, I would recommend using a white hard cheese, so not a, you can use a mozzarella. It's just the dip's gonna be a little bit more watery, the softer of the cheese that you use. Okay, so that's most of what we need. The last thing we need are the actual artichoke hearts. So this is more than what's necessary, but you guys decide, you know, kind of if you want. Oh, 1 second. All right, finally got this open. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys what this looks like. They're gonna be pieces like this. And I like to, you could just throw them right in the dip like this. But I know Most people say they don't care for artichokes. However, when you bury them in smaller amounts, smaller chunks, you do. So this piece is kind of what holds all the leaves, I guess, together. And so this, you know, then you can dice this up as small as you want. And so what I'm going to do is basically just cutting that end piece off. And I'm probably going to use about half of this jar, unless you absolutely, you know, love artichokes. But you can buy a smaller jar as well. So I'm going to cut all these just to kind of cut the pieces off that come. They're going to go into the dish here. I'm going to keep cutting these and fix that. Okay, and then this is gonna bake. It's gonna bake about 25 to 30 minutes. So about halfway through, I think you probably noticed I put the block of cream cheese basically just in there. I'll go cut that up just a tiny bit and spread it, but about halfway through, I'm gonna mix. I'm gonna take it out and just mix it in this particular dish. Finish the baking of it. So about 25 to 30 minutes. But you just kind of want a little bit of a golden brown, all that cheese melty and gooey and ooey. And so I'm gonna throw this in the oven. As soon as it's done, we'll be back. Okay, everything's finished and we are ready to plate and serve. Okay, so you can get creative, find a fun serving platter, but there's the baguette. Okay, all nice and plated. The other thing I like to do if I'm making this for a lot of people, just use that big serving bowl and you know, kind of stagger the baguettes in there. And then here is the finished spinach and artichoke dip. Okay, so these are crunchy enough that you literally could dip if you wish. And I would take a bite, but I think I'm gonna burn myself if we do that, so I'm gonna let it sit. But they're crispy enough that you can do that, or obviously if you dish this on your plate, you can, you know, dip that way as well. So there's your appetizer, the spinach and artichoke dip with the baguette, or sub out some crackers. 12 days of Christmas. Appreciate you guys jumping in and watching. If you want the recipe for this, okay, right down below in the description, there's a little link that you can click on, and I will send that to you. So, Merry Christmas.